fast forwarding this to now, you can clearly see how Kanye has devolved, right? And it's as evident as it appears here on the screen. Kanye West goes on pro-Nazi rant with Alex Jones. And, you know, when I seen that clip,
the table, especially Hitler. This is the future president you're talking to right now. I love Jewish people, but I also love Nazis. Germans had a really cool leader at one time. Love you, love you, love you. There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler.
Well, I think Hitler did target and kill some people. So I think,
I think Obama killed.
What did he say?
And he, like, at first, before he said all of this shit, you could defend Kanye, and not defend him in a sense that what he's saying is correct, but defend him in a sense that you would actually take the time to sit down, process what he's saying, and either make sense of it or toss it in the garbage, right? However, unfortunately, Kanye finds himself in this kind of like precarious predicament as to where he thinks he's going on this like truth-telling, truth-speaking path, but if anything, he's just digging himself in a detrimental hole, right? And if anything, showcasing his knowledge or his quote-unquote love, which is, I don't know if you can call that love. That's fucking heinous if you ask me. But to go into Alex Jones's podcast, and the crazier part, and again, I know I'm speaking on this in bits and pieces, but what's even crazier is that Alex Jones went to a quick commercial break, in my opinion, trying to convince Kanye, like, yo, are you sure this is the route you want to go down? Like, are you sure you actually want to keep speaking on this? And Kanye doubled down, you know? So to go on that whole rant saying that he sees good in, I can't say his name, but Redacted, to me, that speaks volumes, not only on Kanye's current character as to who he's become, but also his current mindset. And I think it's abhorrent and also sad to see, because he was someone I really looked up to. Like, I genuinely admired the man. Like, I thought of him as a role model. Like, damn, look at this guy who's just brought such creative prowess to us, you know, just brought it to the forefront, and he's himself 100%. You can't deny him. But now it's to the point where it's like, okay, you're starting to believe he always believed his own bullshit, but at this point now, it is to the point where he is so stuck in his ways, and he's just so ingrained and entrenched in that mode of thinking that it's like you can't really do anything with him. Even people like Alex Jones won't even touch him. Like, you guys seen what happened to Tim Cass. And if I have to speak a little bit clearer on that, I think Tim kind of fucked up on his own part as well, because I think that was one of the biggest interviews Tim has ever had on his YouTube channel. And I know I'm not really saying much, like I'm small beans, but like, I think that was the biggest interviewee he's ever had, and he fumbled it.
God is using me. He's breaking me down, removing all of the, richest person, all of this, so I can serve him. And the more and more those things are taken away from me, the more I can be empty and be a vessel and be able to be used. And right now, it's like, you're not going to take, if we can't, you're not going to take my pain away, right? The Jewish people say, it's the Holocaust, this happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's going to denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like, I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK, because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm, and I almost shed a tear, almost. Yeah.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who was they though? We can't say they is,
corporate
can we?
press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking about.
It is them though, isn't it? I mean,
what do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you referring to the press?
He's gone. I'll say it right now. You guys want to bring that stuff up, and then
have
think
the
we're not going to
discussion.
He fumbled it hard because he picked YouTube censorship over Kanye West. However, looking at Alex Jones now, I could almost kind of see why Tim decided to do that, because if given Kanye West the opportunity, he would go absolutely off the rails, and would probably destroy your fucking show. So I think Tim did a good thing there. I think at the end of the day, Kanye's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Like, I woke up this morning because I wasn't really paying attention to Kanye. Like, at some point I was just like, all right, he's just gonna keep rambling on. But damn, son, I woke up this morning and then I watched the Alex Jones clip, and it's so funny to see Alex Jones, like, even you could see the pain in his face. He's trying to like play it off like, yo, bro, are you sure you want to say this shit? You're listening to the podcast on Spotify. We're on YouTube as well. Make sure you check out Maison de Wa. And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you check out the podcast. The podcast is on Spotify and it's also on Apple Podcasts as well. Right before Kanye got banned off of Twitter once again, he let out this tweet that says, "Let's break one last window before we get out of here. I caught this guy with Kim. Good night." And clearly in the photo, once again, if you're on podcast, if you're on Spotify, it's Chris Paul. But if you're on YouTube, obviously, you can see who we're talking about. And it's pretty funny because, A, where did this come from? Like, did he... I'm under the impression that at this point, because Kanye said he wasn't taking his meds, and he said that like a couple of months ago, they stopped taking his meds. At this point, I'm under the impression that he's conjuring up these like instances and situations, or perhaps he's just overanalyzing some scenarios that he was probably in the past, and you know, they're just coming to light now. I don't know. All I could say is, for Kanye, I miss the old you, man. I think we all can agree with that. Like, we all can say we miss the old you, and it's not because of it's not like, we're not saying we miss the old you as if your creativity has faltered or anything like that, but who you've become is entirely different than who you were. And we all know people change, but this change is not for the better, you know. And one could only imagine what could happen to him. And obviously, you know, he's been through a lot in his own merit. Like, he's currently going through divorce. That's a whole nother topic in itself. Matter of fact, we can go ahead and speak on that briefly. Kanye West is going through divorce, or just finalized, and Kim Kardashian is getting paid to the tune of $2 million or $200,000 a month by Kanye West, and he had to give up his home. So come on, like, listen, I get it. I totally fucking get it. The man is beat down. He is beat down. Like, think about this. Kim Kardashian and Ye settled divorce. Kim to receive $200,000 per month in child support. Now ask yourself this. Does a person who's got a net worth of, God, who knows? Matter of fact, we can go ahead and look this up. But look at her net worth. Her net worth is $1.4 billion. And she needs Kanye West $200,000 per month. Listen, I'm not trying to defend the guy. And I mean, granted, I could defend the guy, because as far as we're concerned, or, you know, the courts don't care about guys. That's what we know, right? We know that 100%. But at the same time, though, like, and it does sound ignorant, but he can afford it. And again, just saying he can afford it doesn't mean it's okay, but I can't really feel that much for him. But from the perspective of accounting for everything that's happening to him, it's a sad sight to see. And I can't help but say, like, you know, part of it was his own fault. Like, yo, you chose to wife her up. You chose to wife her up. Look at this face. Come on now. You're telling me you didn't know her reputation prior to getting with her? You knew what you got yourself into. And this is the important thing for men to realize. Like, men, you have to understand two very important things about the world. A, there aren't a lot of two-way accidents men can make. Like, you can't. And when I say two-way accidents, you're probably thinking, like, what is a two-way accident? A two-way accident, or a two-way mistake, is something that you can do in reverse. Guys don't get a lot of those. You don't get a lot of I fucked it up. You don't get a lot of get out of jail free cards, right? And then the second thing is, I wouldn't necessarily say that karma is a bitch, but considering as men, we cannot get away with skirting our responsibilities, or essentially owning up or being accountable, right? In this case, regardless of what you do in life, always move through life with the understanding that you will be accountable for your actions in one way or another. And whether that be, you know, in the most lightest of cases, which is, you know, you become a family man, take care of your family, this, that, and the third, Or in the worst of cases, which is you marry someone who has a very promiscuous past, and then you have children by them, and then the marriage crumbles, and now you are forced to pay $2 million a year. In addition to that, you're also losing your mind because you believe Redacted had some good values to him. That shit blows my mind. That shit kills me. So like, okay, if H-Man had all these qualities to him and they were good qualities, then do we just give King Leopold a pass? I don't know if anyone knows about King Leopold. Do your research. Look up what he did in Africa. Just do yourself that favor. Look up what he did in Africa. You will be absolutely astounded. And if you ever go to the country where they sell those chocolate hands, you should buy a couple because they probably taste good. But no, realistically, on a more significant stance, I should say, sound a little more eloquent in this bitch. At the end of the day, Kanye needed to be removed from Twitter. I know a lot of people are probably like, yo, why they remove him from Twitter? Believe it or not, there are probably some people out there that are thinking that, like, why did they remove him from Twitter? And the reason why they removed him from Twitter was because he decided to put up a whole bunch of fucking Nazi flags on his profile right before he decided to get ban-hammered out of there. So it's pretty interesting, man. It's sad to see once again, but you know, the world keeps turning. And I think the ultimate question is, like, all things considered, there's a lot of these celebrities that tend to just fucking self-destruct. Like, I don't know if anyone pays attention to this, but it seems like being a celebrity kind of sucks because you either like die young or you self-destruct and go senile as you get older. And that's not the case for everyone. And of course, perhaps that kind of opinion doesn't really hold a lot of water. But if you ask me, the ultimate question is, what is the price you pay for richness or riches and fame? Like, especially if it's given from a source that is seemed or perceived to be rather nefarious. You know, like, what are you really willing to give for that? Nothing. Because the peace of mind I have, at the same time though, I could understand someone being in that position but not being satisfied. But then the conversation becomes, what are you willing to do to get to it and get there and have that kind of lifestyle? And when I think about celebrities, I have to ask, like, damn, did they go the right route? Because it does not look that way. So best of luck to Kanye West. We'll be here making the content, talking about it as he continues to self-destruct.